These people are systematically oppressed by their own government.
We've been waking up to horrific stories every day, heartbreaking images separating mothers from their children.
They live in a police state, where they're monitored by one of the most advanced and intrusive surveillance systems in the world.
Imagine that the police force you to stand in front of a camera for biometric data collection.
Every online activity is tracked.
Imagine that the police force you to install spying app on your phone.
Their religion is restricted. Many traditional Muslim names are even banned for newborns.
Party officials are frequently attacking Islam as very old-fashioned, very backward.
These are some of the suspected detention camps where an estimated 1 million Uyghurs are held. Many of them have not been heard from since being detained.
Hidayat is a Uyghur rights activist. He joins me now from Bahrain. Thanks so much for your time. Is this bill that we're seeing from the US really going to make any difference to what's happening to Uyghurs in China?
And I know in the last, as you said, 20 years, there's been a huge, government plan. It's literally, think of the Palestinians and the European Jews that came in the 1930s and 40s, right? Think of that. Now that's happening. So what are the latest statistics in terms of the broader population being just camped in by the authorities and put in?
So from my understand, you're basically saying that the Chinese government are doing this not necessarily because they hate Islam, but because they understand Islam is part of the kind of social and spiritual DNA of the Uyghur people, and they're just afraid that the Uyghur people are going to become self-governing. They want to basically split away from the Chinese Republic. Are you saying that's the main fear of the government?
Perfect. You perfectly summed it up there.
The women, they were saying they ended up not having their periods. There is gang rape, regardless of men and women. Even some men have testified that they were gang raped by prison guards. Right now, it is estimated anywhere between 1 million to about 7 or 8 million people in these camps, or who have gone and left these camps. These camps, whether it be the concentration camps, which mainly is for torturing, indoctrinating, and creating Chinese people, because one of the reasons why, actually the main reason why Uyghurs are put in these camps is because we are not Chinese enough. We are not assimilated enough. I've spoken to some former concentration camp detainees where they've told me that they were taken and they were urinated upon. And you think urinated upon by Chinese guards, and you know why they urinated upon one of these people? Is because they said, don't you Muslims wash yourself before you pray? Wash yourself with this.
So the first phase is basically right after she's done her menses, all right? She's basically seeking the high value male, as Anghel always talks about. She's seeking that man who is the highest value dominant male that she can find. She is now seeking more security, more stability, because in the off chance that she is pregnant, through biology, the highest value male might not stick around, right? So she needs that security, that provider, that provisioning, right? So in step 2, in phase 2, the two, latter weeks of the month for her cycle, she's now going to, find more, secure, stable, predictable men attractive the month. So the birth control pills keep them in this state. So what society, Planned Parenthood, whatever you want to call it, they're going into this point where they're forcing women and incentivizing women to, 1, become single moms, but that's another issue. But 2, take these pills, so you can do whatever and not have to take accountability for raising a kid. But what these pills are doing is they're feminizing men and masculinizing women. How are they masculinizing women? Because they keep women at that stage in the luteal phase, I believe, in biology. And that basically makes women find beta males more attractive. Isn't that twisted? Isn't that messed up? That's going against the natural fitra that Brother Gabriel talked about. And the second thing is that birth control pill that's coming out of her urine, it's going into the sewers. There's clinical, scientific, primary, peer-reviewed literature showing that this water, they're forming in biology, they call them secondary sex characteristics, all right? So they're not your genitalia, which are your primary, but they're forming those things that women have. And it's increasing the estrogen and progesterone of men, biological human males that are drinking the water that filtration systems today can't fill. So I basically categorize men into 3 different states, all right? So the first 2 aren't even men, I consider them boys, but hear me out. So the first one is, we'll talk about it as level 1.
Because they both have truth to what they're saying, so they think wholeheartedly they're true, right? But that's my point. If you go in the middle, you'll see, okay, it sounds basic, but people don't actually think about it in the moment. There are bad women and there are good women. There are bad men and there are good men. So khalas, let's deal with the entire issue of like society as a whole and how it shapes these people. And in that balanced approach, you'll find proper ways of thinking.
I really like, you guys, man, mashallah, you guys are, this podcast, it's just so natural, it's so organic, Yeah. It's like, we're just chilling and just talking, I like it, sometimes certain things are so like scripted, like, hey, brother, what do you think? Brother, what do you, so I like this, it's very cool. It feels natural, it's like,
Alhamdulillah, man, that was the goal.
Yeah.
All right, Rami.
God bless you all. Well, again, it was an honor, all 3 of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alhamdulillah.
All right, man. So I definitely like what we talked about so far in terms of the whole feminist movement, the whole gender role switching. And we got women brainwashed here right now currently to look at all these helpful house husbands who do, you were talking about 50% of the chores yesterday, Gabriel. I'm talking about these women want men to do all of them. And they're out here, being a man, being a breadwinner. And I feel like this is something not much talked about lately, but birth controls have a huge role to do with this. And for people that have no idea what I'm talking about, basically a woman's, not to go on a tangent because it's all relevant, but a woman's proliferative cycle, right? Her ovulatory cycle, how it works is she's divided into 2 phases, all right? I'm gonna go in on this. So the first phase is basically right after she's done her menses, all right? She's basically seeking the high value male, as Anghel always talks about. She's seeking that man who is the highest value dominant male that she can find. This is hardwired into their biology. And they don't care about anything else. They don't care about provider. They don't care about security. They just want that. Why? Because it is in this time that they're preparing for ovulation when they can be pregnant. So it is in their best interest by virtue of nature to secure the highest value offspring. And you cannot secure the highest value offspring if you cannot secure the highest value male. As soon as she gets pregnant, and even if she doesn't get pregnant, her body doesn't know she's not pregnant until her next period. But as soon as she ovulates, as soon as that thing has happened, she is now seeking more security, more stability, because in the off chance that she is pregnant, through biology, the highest value male might not stick around, right? So she needs that security, that provider, that provisioning, right? So in step 2, in phase 2, the 2 latter weeks of the month for her cycle, she's now going to find more secure, stable, predictable men attractive. And there's a lot of different ways to coin these terms. Some people say beta, some people say weak, some people say more emotional, whatever. But they will find this man more attractive than the bad boy that they were chasing in the first 2 weeks. All right. So when women say, "Oh, I want a nice guy," they're not wrong. And when women say, "I want a bad boy," they're not wrong. It's just you're not knowing what time of the month they're on. But anyway, my point is birth control pills keep women in the phase of their cycle at week 3 and 4 of their cycle. So basically when they're seeking that predictable provider type, that provision type, that guy who's, he doesn't look the best, but he has 200,000 in the bank. He has 100,000 coming in every year. They seek this man, ladies and gentlemen, when they are on birth control pills and when they're on this time of the month. So the birth control pills keep them in this state. So what society, Planned Parenthood, whatever you want to call it, they're going into this point where they're forcing women and incentivizing women to, 1, become single moms, but that's another issue. But 2, take these pills, so you can do whatever and not have to take accountability for raising a kid. But what these pills are doing is they're feminizing men and masculinizing women. How are they masculinizing women? Because they keep women at that stage in the luteal phase, I believe, in biology. And that basically makes women find beta males more attractive. Isn't that twisted? Isn't that messed up? That's going against the natural fitra that Brother Gabriel talked about. And the second thing is that birth control pill that's coming out of her urine, it's going into the sewers. There's clinical, scientific, primary, peer-reviewed literature showing that this water is literally, they have fish, right? They have male fish who have whatever chromosomes they have. It's not XY like males, but they're basically turning into hermaphrodites, and they're basically forming, they're forming, in biology, they call them secondary sex characteristics, all right? So they're not your genitalia, which are your primary, but they're forming those things that women have. And it's increasing the estrogen and progesterone of men, biological human males that are drinking the water that filtration systems today can't fill. So it goes much deeper than us just thinking, this is propaganda and us pulling things out of thin air. I just wanted to put that out there.
Right. Alhamdulillah. That's 100%. That's why I find, people keep talking about, like, okay, people were not coming out before in history, right? But I think things didn't exist as they do today. And a lot of the changes that you see in the biology of human beings, be it male or females, is because of the nutrition, because of the pollution, because of what we're taking, because of what women are taking, men are taking, how it gets back into the environment, how it gets uptaken again. And it's changing the way we are. No doubt, we are corrupting our fitra. We are corrupting our fitra on all levels. And yes, you're having all these new type of, it's like, and it's subhanAllah, you need a new label almost every year to define what's going on or what's happening within human biology, right? So yes, these are challenges that have not, they're unprecedented. I mean, before, yes, homosexuality existed. Yes, it was a perversion. Yes, lesbianism existed. Yes, throughout, the history of mankind, Qawm and so on. But what we're dealing with today, because of the corruption of our environment, of nutrition, of just society, of what's happening on all levels, you're faced with so many things. Every action has a reaction. And as you said, women taking these pills, these contraceptives, changes. Women, the way they eat. Let's cultural influences, biological influences. Both of them contribute to our makeup. Okay, the total past learning history. It is a joint collaboration between the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the intellectual. So just observational. Okay, just look at women today. Look at men today. Okay, go to the mall. I don't know, wherever you can take a sample population. Look at the way women walk. Look at the way women talk. Look at the way women dress. How masculinized it is. Hey buddy, what's up, man? Yeah, there's no softness anymore. There's no, there's no femininity anymore. The way they dress, the way they talk, the way they carry themselves. There's no afafa. There's no, chastity. There's no. It's not. Society doesn't reward a humble or what's the word I'm looking for?
It's the feminine girl, man. Society shames that.
Exactly, right. For what is this? You're gonna be used as this and that. I mean, that humbleness, that modesty is not there anymore, right? That we used to be attractive, and now no, you have to be the biggest, baddest girl talking about weird stuff, and that's when you're like, wow, this is what a woman really is. I mean, that's disgusting, you know what I mean? And men are confused. We have this weird phenomenon in the Arab world right now where men are chasing these feminine boys or these feminine men because they find more feminine traits in them as opposed to the women, which is I've experienced this as a teacher there and as a principal. I know people are gonna go crazy about this, but like, the men were chasing these Asian Filipino boys, who are working in those countries because they're more feminine than the women that are around, who are being now pushed to work, getting high salaries to be pushed to go outside and to do the work, right? So they're now stimulated to be out there. They're not feminine more. I mean, they might be putting, they think that I'm feminine if I'm going to look like a genetically modified Barbie, put a tons of makeup on and look like, God, horrible, right?
No, man.
That's how they manifest their femininity, big deep voice, hello, and crazy makeup on, and then they think that that's feminine,
I know, man.
It's
Are
horrible.
you talking about the lady boys?
Yeah, lady boys and
He's
just
talking about
normal
androgynous men.
Okay,
just
I thought
very,
you were
very
talking about the
feminine
lady
men.
boys.
No,
A lot of
you
lady
gotta go
boys.
to Thailand,
There's.
bro. So you gotta see a lot of those.
Oh no,
Yeah,
bro. In the Middle East, there's a lot of lady boys, bro. They get brought on purpose. It's by order, In the Middle East, there's a lot of lady boys, especially in male salons. Okay, cutting hair and so on. It's become a culture there. They only hire these kind of lady boys, and the men chase them like crazy because they're so feminine. They're so like taking care of themselves and so whatever. And guys chase this stuff, man. So they're
that's
confused.
disgusting.
And if
No, but
I used to ask,
bro, he's not
I used
wrong.
to,
He's not wrong. It's reality.
I used to
It's
ask my students, bro. Imagine, bro.
Yes.
Imagine. I had a grade 12. I was teaching grade 12 English, class of 24. Two boys come to me and they're like, teacher, look, you got to address this issue. And I said, what's the problem? He said, 22. So out of 24, only 2 of us are straight. The other ones are all chasing these little boys, And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's just the culture. And they explain it to me, And I said, but you guys are Muslim. You guys know it. He said, no, they're not gay. They don't. But he says that they feel that those are like very girly. They're very attractive because they're very feminine. And I was trying to wrap my head around it. I did some research, looked at it, opened my eyes a bit more. And I was like, makes sense. You know what I mean? I understand what's going on right now. It's disgusting. Yeah. But you see the imbalance, it's like women are becoming more masculine. The fitrah of the man wants something feminine. Some of them are becoming feminine because women are too masculine. It's like just ping-ponging back and forth, and then everyone gets messed up, So it's just it's a big problem. But
you're right, man. This whole thing, it's propagated by getting curved or doing, when Angel talks about you were done dirty in your childhood or in your life, and you are now trying to project that onto other people, and you're just walking around with this chip in your shoulder. So I basically categorize men into 3 different states. All right. So the first 2 aren't even men. I consider them boys, but hear me out. So the first one is, we'll talk about it as level 1. So when you're in level 1, you're basically conditioned by society. All right. You're basically a yes man. You do what everyone says. You never put yourself or Allah first. You put everyone else first. You put these jahils first. You're just bending over backwards for everyone. And just like Brother Gabriel talked about in our last podcast, how you kind of have like when you take the red pill and you finally like learn about the truth, it's basically who you are before that. All right. So level 1, you're basically just a product of society. Here you're basically doing everything for everyone. You're over jumping to people's whims and to their demands because you feel like if you don't, people won't value you. You feel like your only value is just doing everything for everyone else. And this could be for your woman, this could be for your boss. You feel like if you don't do anything, aside from 110%, they will not value, they will leave you, they will replace you.
So a soy
then
boy.
Yeah, basically a soy boy, basically a simp. And then you take this understanding that Brother Gabriel was talking about, of you finally understand everything you've been conditioned and programmed was a lie. And when you realize this, then you realize, okay, damn, like that means I can't give anything. I can't give my woman any type of attention. I can't listen to any of my boss's demands. I can't be nice to anyone or be kind or be, kind of like the prophets, kind of just like all of the prophets we've had, just genuine, kind, and valuable people. I can't do any of that. Level 2 people and men, their whole predisposition is, if I give even 1%, they'll think I'm weak. I'll be taken for granted. So now I gotta now be toxic. I gotta now be, violent and oppressive. I gotta now not share my feelings. I gotta just basically hide who I am.
So
And
level 2 is the douche.
Level 2 is the douche. So when you talk about level 1, it's kind of like the beta male and whatever. Level 2 is kind of like that bad boys girls chase, you know, that thug, that street guy, that guy in a gang. Where he has the dominant traits that you find attractive, which level 3 has also, but I'm gonna get to that. But he's not grounded in abundance. See, level 1 has a scarcity mentality because he feels like if he doesn't give everything, they'll leave me behind. Level 2 still has scarcity because they think if I don't give everything, if I give even anything, then they're gonna take advantage of me. So I can't give anything. I gotta be like this. I gotta walk like this. I gotta now appear, more Chad or more Dom than I am, and I can't really show them who I am. And I gotta now cut everyone off and act like I'm going through a lot and whatever these men do, bro. That I seen people call it red pill rage, but you got what I mean. And level 2, it's still scarcity. Level 3 is when you realize, bro, you don't have to play all these games. You don't have to pretend to be any of these, these aforementioned levels. You could be you. When you validate people, when you do things for them, it's because you wanted to do it, not because they made you do it. And not because you felt like if you weren't going to do it, you're going to be taken advantage of or, vulnerable or, invalidated. You think for yourself. You live for yourself. You compliment people when you want to compliment people. You don't do it because you feel like if you don't, they're going to, find someone else who does. But you also don't hide your compliments because you feel like if you do, they're going to think you're soft and weak. You truly stop caring about this dunya and you focus on what matters. You have purpose, like Anghels said. See, level 3 is what women will find more attractive than this bad boy, this thug level 2 energy. But the reason, people don't talk about it is because this man doesn't exist anymore, bro. Most men today, I would say 90% of men are level 1. All right. This is why they're tired of it. And I'd say 9% of men are level 2 and like 1% of men are level 3. But it doesn't even matter. It's 1% because if it's 1%, most of those men are taken, bro. And even if they're Muslim men, they probably have 4 wives. So their, tryouts are kind of canceled this season. So they got no slots open. So regardless of what you want to say, that 1% man isn't even 1%. It's like 0.1. You know what I mean? So women at the end of the day, they got to realize that, and women are realizing this too, just like you're saying, they're waking up. They're realizing, this man that society told us I should be attracted to, I'm not. Prince Charming or this white knight, I'm not really attracted to him. And, you got this whole issue about nikah and marriage and Wali syndrome that I know you talked about with your series with Abu American, and it's crazy because you got parents that want the best for their children, want the best for their girls. They force them to marry this guy who's probably bald, out of shape, doesn't take care of his hygiene, doesn't take care of his appearance, but he's a lawyer or an engineer or a physician bringing in like $250K a year, and they force him to be married. And now the woman's like, damn, I'm really not, attracted to this guy, but cheating is haram, doing this is haram. But it's like, how long can she go without breaking, So she realized this is not the man that I want. So after that, she's like, okay, cool. That level 2 guy, that bad boy, that guy who's exciting or, mysterious, like I don't know much about him. They go for this guy, but they realize they can never form that emotional connection with this man because this man is still in scarcity. He's not opening up. He's not vulnerable. So they're out here like, okay, I wanna form, connection with this guy, but I can't. Or in the terms we talked about before, only 2 out of 4 weeks of the month I'm attracted to this guy, and the other 2 I'm like, damn, I don't really know who he is, So this is when, they get done dirty by this guy. Where I'm going with this is they get curved by this guy or they get their time wasted. They get done dirty, like Anghels says. And now they walk around with this chip in their shoulder, like, oh, men are trash, men are dogs. They talk to other girls that are young, like, oh, don't go for this guy. Go for the predictable guy. Go for the stable guy, And they don't realize it, but the girls they're talking to, they themselves are finding those waste mans attractive, but they can't do anything about it. That's why women always love giving girls advice, but they can't take it when it comes to themselves. Sorry to say it, ladies. I'm talking about women on average, not every woman. Before, the select 2 feminists we got comment on that. But if you could find yourself a man, ladies, that is truly on his purpose, he has emotional intelligence. Like he is not afraid to open up. He can fully be, loving you. But at any given time, he can leave you. Like he doesn't need you. Keep that guy. Because what he needs his priority is Allah. It's his purpose. It's his role in this dunya. It's not you, and it's not, you know, what society wants him to have as his purpose. And for men, I feel like y'all gotta find women, even though the numbers are declining today more faster than not than ever before. You gotta find women, simply put, that are okay being women. They don't think of it like some ego battle, like, oh, if I'm a woman, damn, like what's society gonna say? Like, you gotta find a woman who worked through that programming that her mom taught her, that worked through the programming her friends taught her, that society taught her, that feminism taught her, and she's okay being a woman. You feel me? So it goes both ways. But I agree with Brother Gabriel 1000% of the way that until men fix themselves, women will not fix themselves, all right? Because they depend on you. And a wonderful point I want Brother Gabriel to go into right now to drive my point home all the way is he made a video about this whole convert craze and this whole revert thing where women are going after you know, men that are new reverts, and men are going after women that are reverts. But it only works one time, one way, right? More times than not. And I want you to go into that because I feel like it'll definitely drive my point home.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. See, everyone's I think the concept of attraction and connection is something that a lot of people are not honest about it, like both men and women. I think guys are a bit more honest than women, because we, you know, I think it's so simple, you know. And I always tell sisters, just wake up a little bit, and you can be the happiest woman in the world because you're gonna make your husband happy. Actually, it's not that difficult to make us happy. We men don't require so much, you know. We're very simple, you know. We want, as you said, Allah first. Okay, so that's our purpose in life. When we find that, then we are driven. We have a drive. Alhamdulillah. Okay, means we're moving. We're moving. Movement is barakah. Movement is good. Alhamdulillah. You know, so don't stop that. You got sisters saying, "Oh, don't go to the masjid, brother. Stay with me. Oh, why are you going dawah? Why are you? Oh, you know, you have to." It's like, no, men are not. Why are you going to the gym? Men are not made to sit in the house. The faster sisters understand that, and the faster they facilitate for men to be outside, be it their job and whatever, and not piss them off. And why didn't you come at 5 and you're late 2 minutes and stuff like that? I'm not saying that you set your wife up and you're late 2 hours and whatnot. Stick true to your word, because that is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But what I'm saying is that the faster women understand the way we work, they'll be happy men, because it's so simple to satisfy us. Let us fulfill our purpose. Okay, number one. Respect us. Number two. We need respect. Okay, when we come home, our children, everything, you can facilitate that. We expect that from you as the woman. If you don't do it, forget about, I get respect at work and this and that. It doesn't really matter. If I walk in my house and my woman don't respect me, that's going to kill me, man. We don't like that. Okay, number three, very simple. Intimacy. We need love. Men need love. Okay, we have been built like that. We've been nurtured by our mothers. We need that. That's a driving force for us. Okay, call it sex, call it whatever. We need. That's how we express our love. Our love, we express it through making love. Okay, if you reject us, women don't understand what happens to men when they get rejected. It kills us. Especially the woman that we care about, that we committed to. If she tells you no, she rejects you. That's why the Prophet ﷺ was so strict about what happens if a woman rejects her husband. Don't reject us. Respect us. Don't reject us. Give us love. And I don't know. We're good. That's it. Other stuff, details here and there to fill in. That's pretty much it, man.
Pause. You miss food, bro. You miss good food.
Oh, 100%, good food.
Yeah, but we can still move on without good food. Like, alhamdulillah, a woman will try and she'll cook something and you're like, blah, and then that's what the Prophet said, you can lie to your wife, she's gonna say, honey, how was that? And you're like, amazing.
There was a hadith of the Prophet where I think it was men and women who are married. A woman's cursed if she, rejects a man until what, the next morning or something like that?
Well, the next morning, as the angels, right? So, and not just that, it went even more in extreme. Is like, if you are riding a camel and I feel the urge of being intimate, I call it making love, because sex and F and this and that is like, it's become so dirty by the Western, even though yes, you can have a lot of fun in it, and go crazy. But like the Prophet said in the hadith, even if you're on the back of a camel, man, like, I don't want you guys to make too many to think too much about that, but I mean, you understand? It's like, it's like he said, even if you're cooking, you're top of the stove and you're cooking and it's about to, like, the food is about to burn. If he calls you, you go, why? Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam puts such an emphasis. Because we will psychologically suffer in the back of our mind that rejection equals to disrespect, equals to a lack of worth. The woman who's supposed to be the one that's got your back is telling you no. And guess what a man's gonna do? No once, no twice. We play baseball, no 3 times. Turn the other way and start looking around for other options, man.
See, here's the thing. We got a ton of women that are gonna. We got a ton of women that are gonna address Gabriel's point and say, "Oh, that's fragile masculinity or whatever." But bro, simply put, men don't care about love and attention. We want respect. All right. But conversely, women want love and attention. Women want to be loved and have attention more than they get respect. There was a study done where there were a couple wives, in one cohort. They got more respect than attention. They earned more money than their man, or their men basically thought of them as higher status and gave more respect. And then there was another group where, their men gave their wives more love, devotion, attention, but not as much respect as their love. And more people got divorces in the first group than the second. And I think the opposite, vice versa, is going to be completely true too. If a woman gives you love, but she doesn't give you respect, nah. I need my women to 110,000% respect me and love me, but respect me a little more than she loves me. Or if she loves me more than she respects me, there's not that full submission, full her subscribing to my program. She's not on the same page as me. You feel me?
And if we were to apply the 3 models that you said, you got the soy boy, you got the douche, and you got the gentle warlord, bro, like, if a guy is in the 3rd stage, if a guy is being a gentle warlord, like, he pretty much makes the woman be in her feminine. And just think for a second. What woman would not want to be intimate and make love with a level 3 man?
No doubt.
But what woman will question and tell their guy no when the guy's at level 1 or level 2?
That's true.
Facts, 100%, man. And you see these, and I know, we already made an episode on pornography, but, we got, bro, they're coming out with weird porn plots and stuff like that. Like, we got women that have these types of, fantasies. Yeah, women have fantasies, but, some of the things they're portraying, they're not real. So the 3 levels that we talked about, that Anghel coined perfectly, he put a name to the face as the soy boy, the douche, and the gentle warlord. If a woman's with a level 1 man, this is called the would you say the soy boy? The
soy
simp.
Boy.
The problem
with
this
fantasizing about level 3 while she's doing it with level 1.
That's the thing. See, but most women don't even know level 3, so they're
don't get
conditioned
me
to
started
think it's level
female
2.
sexual psychology, bro.
Oh
my
man,
God.
so
Ya
the thing with
we need an episode on that.
I know, man. If they're with a level 1 boy who's a soy boy, they will cheat on him with almost anyone that's more attractive. And the reason being is because, bro, he's a soy boy. He doesn't. There's no desire. There's no dynamic. He's more feminine than her almost, all the time. So that's the thing. If you get cheated on more times than not, I'm talking most of the men that get cheated on, they're probably level 1. Level 2. She's not gonna cheat on you as much because you already do it for her. You're probably the guy she cheats on her man with. So with level 2, she's not gonna cheat on you more times than not. But these are the type of women that like, if their man gets locked up, okay, then cool. I need some attention. He was there for me. Or there's a lot of porn plots that it's like the woman who cheats on her man with the pool boy. when her man's at work. This is that woman, because the man, yeah, he does it for her, but he's not there emotionally. And she won't cheat on him physically first. She'll cheat on him emotionally, but emotional, obviously, we know it turns into physicality. That's why, like, bro, no male friends. Like, that's rule number one for any woman, at least if you want to make things work. But that's with level 2. Level 3, though, nah, bro, she's probably not cheating on me unless she's like drugged and raped or something like that. Like, level 3, if she's with a man that's level 3, bro, I've heard of women that their men were locked up and they're still keeping it, you know, they're staying loyal, they're staying faithful. Yes. These are the men that they fully have that bond with him. It's unseverable. And Allah has ordained for us to have a wonderful, diametrically opposed, polar opposite type of wonderful cultivated relationship with women and vice versa. But you can't, you know, adopt society's programming and try to be a woman so you can relate to a woman. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect to, because, you know, we'll talk about LGBT gay guys. I'm not putting them down, but all the guys I knew that were gay or bi in school.
You're what?
You don't have to. I'll put him down.
No, he'll put him
down.
down.
I thought you were saying you were gay. I was like, wait, hold up, bro. How you gonna say all that you just said? And it's like a huge plot twist at the end. Oh yeah, I'm gay, guys.
Bro. No, guys. Bro. We'll talk about that in the Patreon exclusive. But you see all the gay guys I knew in high school growing up. Most of the people they had walking around, it was always women. They didn't have male friends because they could relate to women on a cellular level, because it is biochemical, right? In terms of men that were in their natural fitra, in their natural positioning, they're not going to be what level 2 does. See, level 2 is like, oh, I gotta, you know, wheel 10 different chicks and act like a bad boy to get more chicks, and I gotta look like I got women. You feel me? Nah, level 3, this is the type of guy that's he's looked up by men. And there's a book, I think it was by Jack Donovan. It's called The Way of Men. And Anghel recommended it to me. And he talks about how, as a man, your value's not equated, my guy, to how much women you get. A man's value is equated to how other men see him and where he falls in that hierarchy.
Yo, and pause before any of y'all continue. Reframing of the 3 categories here. You got the soy boy, you got the douche, and y'all got daddy.
That's facts. That's
much better.
That's facts, bro. We're gonna make a whole separate episode. Papi, bro. We're gonna make a whole separate episode about how to be daddy or how to be papi, and we're pretty much gonna talk about how to be a complete man. And I want you guys to, you know, let us down in the comments below. Brother Gabriel is welcome anytime in our podcast, but what other perfect guests than him? And I feel like when we do that podcast in the future, inshallah, we're not going to just talk about just finances. We're not going to talk about just health and, you know, bodybuilding and working out and strength training. We're going to talk about everything, having your man in check, just being a complete man at the end of the day. And
I think we can do three of you and myself and Abu American. That's gonna be like a killer, man.
I was just thinking about that.
That's gonna change the world. And I feel like a topic,
Third World War, bro.
Bro, I feel like a topic not talked about enough is emotional intelligence. Right. So we are definitely gonna include that in that video. If not, we're gonna include a separate video just on that. But I think this was a solid podcast. I have nothing else to say. So if you guys want to take it away, you guys can say your piece.
Jazakallah khair. Barakallah fikum. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I have to get moving as well. I have another interview at 9. Gotta get ready, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, man. Anghel, bro, you didn't close it off last episode. Why don't you close it off?
All right. Guys, thank you for watching. We had the wonderful brother Gabriel, and we had obviously Faiyad, me, and Rami. He's non-existent, but Rami. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helped in one way, shape, or form. Alhamdulillah. And
consider hopping on Brother Gabriel's channel. Links will be in the description.
Go into his channel. Go watch his videos and read this man's book, because we're all gonna read it and we're gonna talk about it and all that. Inshallah.
100%, man. We're gonna do a review, not in the sense that we rate it, but we talk about it and the value that you can get without, you know, spoiling it, because y'all better hop on it, man. This man knows what he's talking about. With that being said, guys, like the video, share the video. See you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Salam wa rahmatullah.